Welcome to the Committed Podcast, where we dive into the journey of dedicated athletes who have put in the work and made the commitment to play at the next level. I'm your host, Mike Overton, and today we have a very special guest, Miss Ryanne Womack. Ryanne is a junior at Hammond High School, and she's been making waves in softball for years. She has a tremendous amount of accomplishment at the high school level. Academically, she carries a 3.8 GPA, and she's had also a lot of accolades at the travel ball level. She plays for the Baptist Fernandez team, and we're glad to have her today. Ryanne, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing awesome. So the first thing I wanted to do, again, I always try to do full disclosures. I've been fortunate enough to talk to girls all over the world, from Florida to Ohio to Texas. But I do talk to a lot of girls from California, a lot of girls that I've been lucky enough to coach. And you are one of the first girls that I was able to coach that's now committed. I think you were like maybe 8 or 9 years old when we were playing against
Yeah.
each other. And then we got together to hook up in 10U and won a lot of games. And that was exciting. So I always like to reconnect. And I'm just so proud of the work you put in. So I'm excited for you.
Thank you so much.
Cool, cool.
And that definitely good times. I remember everything. Love
Yeah.
Michaela. Everything.
Awesome, awesome. So tell our audience this. You've been playing softball for so long. I think you were 5 years old or so when you got started. Who first got you started in the sport?
God, my dad got me started first off in the sport. At first, they didn't really want to put me in it because both of my parents both played pretty highly intense. My mother played throughout college, and my dad stopped just right before.
Mhm.
But both of my parents really got me into it.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, and it's funny because like I know a lot about this, and I tell people I actually use you and your family as an example because there's so many ways to get to that next level. But your parents are two of the most intense softball parents I know. But it's all love. I know that they have great intentions, and the
Mhm.
work that you put in and they're driving you has got you to where you are. So that's really really cool. Um,
Yes.
Tell me this, Rand. Is there a moment when you realized that softball was something that you wanted to pursue at a high level? Obviously, you put in the work. When did you know that you wanted to do this beyond high school?
Really, I think watching a whole bunch of college games and stuff like that, my favorite, I want to say memory that really like pushed me to say this is what I want to do was the 2017 College World Series where Shea Knighton hit the walk off against Florida. That 17 inning game, I was up
Yeah,
all night watching that game. That was the game that said, "Hey, this is what you want to do. This is the intensity that you want, and you want people to notice you how you're watching it right now." So that
yeah.
really pushed me.
Yeah, no, those Oklahoma teams are
Mm,
phenomenal, and just like my kids that you know, and a lot of the girls that I've coached before, it's watching these girls perform at a high level, going to Mary Nutter every year and getting a chance to meet these girls and these coaches. It's just amazing. I tell my friends that coach baseball or other sports, I'm like, there's nothing like it. You can go there, see your heroes on TV, do a TikTok video with them, and you could be teammates a couple years later. So I think that's something that's really
mm.
really amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me, your club organization is OC Batbusters. Stith and Fernandez is the head coach there. Everybody knows about OC Batbusters, one of the top organizations in the country. I think they are rated as the number one, depending on who you listen to. I know there's so many rankings. Um, how has the experience of playing in that organization helped you grow as a player?
Oh my. I feel like the competition really jumped as soon as I joined OC Batbuster Sid Fernandez. I felt very pushed and very loved as a player. I feel like they made sure, like, if I needed something, if I needed to throw a little bit longer, if I needed to hit, if I needed to take that extra rep, they were definitely there for it. It was definitely a competition boost, and I absolutely loved it. And I got to put in 10 times more reps, 10 times more the work, and loving it more than ever, really.
Nice, very, very cool.
Mhm.
Like I say, we're going to flip flop back and forth from travel ball in high school. Obviously, everybody around here knows it's such a big difference. Different parts of the country, it's different, but here we know the intensity is different depending on what's your travel ball organization. What's the biggest difference for you between OC Batbusters and Hammond High School, where you're a current junior?
Ooh, I'd say I feel like high school ball is a little bit more related to college ball, I feel like, because same season, you're going places, you're on that bus. No plane, sadly, but you're
Actually,
going places, you're meeting new people all the time. You kind of play the same teams depending on what league you're in.
mhm,
Travel ball, you're also meeting new people. You're going on planes and travel ball, of course, all the time, everywhere.
yeah,
But I feel like at Hemet, it's more of a family matter. So everybody knows each other, and especially small town. I know you guys
yeah,
at Orange Vista. I know
yeah.
people at Liberty. I know people Poly, basically everywhere. It's just a small town type of thing for Hemet. But travel, you get to meet outside Broadview. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I think a lot of people miss that about high school. I mean, obviously, like I said,
Mhm.
I coach a club softball, and we love traveling all around the country, seeing new places, new universities. But there's something about high school ball where you're playing with your classmates, or where you're playing
Mhm.
with your friends, where your mom and dad's friends might have kids you're playing with or against. It's
Yeah.
different. And sometimes I get frustrated when sometimes coaches try to downplay high school, but you know what? You're getting a chance to be a leader. You're getting a chance to
Mhm.
know a new position. There's always some value that you can get from it. And so I know that I can look at you on the travel ball field and say, obviously, you got a great arm, you can hit, you can run bases. But I'm also interested in, do you get to class? What kind of teammate are you to your high school friends? And I know from talking with coaches myself, they look at that as well. And so obviously, we're going to recruit from the club scene because that's the elite
Mhm.
competition. But high school does matter, and it builds who you are. So I think that's awesome that you have that perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we talked a little bit about the travel ball, and I always ask everybody this because I know I have mine. I'm sure you have yours. What is the favorite venue or location you've been to play? I know you've been all over the country. What's one of your favorite spots?
Oh, of course, Indiana. But
Ah,
I
very
think
nice.
really Indiana was really fun. I felt like I got outside of California a little bit because
Mhm,
California, you got your beach cities, of
mhm.
course. Love the beach.
Yeah,
Always there on the weekends, but I really got to see an outside view, especially in Indiana. I don't know what it was, but it felt very homey, very safe there.
nice.
Um, I got to see a little more like flat land. I didn't really get to see those buildings, high
Mhm,
roads, and stuff like that.
mhm.
So I think that's been my favorite place so far. And plus, the fields were all pretty much amazing there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, when you get to that D1 level, and when you go to a college town, when Purdue University is the biggest thing around, they
Mhm.
treat you different. That's really awesome. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about Purdue University.
Mhm.
Congratulations on you
Thank
committing to
you.
them. Tell me a little bit about that process. When did they first reach out to you, or you to them? How did that work?
So they kind of reached out to me a little bit through Josh Stoffel.
Okay.
When I first joined OC Batbuster Sith Fernandez, mm, it was right before Colorado.
Okay.
I had a couple other coaches looking at me, but really Purdue kind of stepped in and said, "Hey, like, what's that kid's name?" And they kind of just kept talking to me and stuff like that. It was definitely hard going through the process, but it was definitely paid off in the end, and I'm more than blessed that they found me, really.
Yeah.
I didn't think that I thought they had to like kind of find you, and they did, but I had to reach out to them also. So that was really nice.
That's good, and that's one of the things that softball and all the college sports is ever changing with NIL and transfer
Mhm.
portal. And 10 years ago, everybody would just come and reach out for that player. Now that still
Mhm.
does happen, but you do have to do your homework. Sometimes you do have to reach out and write emails and join a service. What are some of the things you did to reach out to colleges, whether it's Purdue or any other college?
I really sent out a lot of emails. It was so many emails weekly. I remember in my first period class, I had sports medicine, so my sports med teacher wouldn't really care. He understood the way that,
Mhm.
college level is
Yeah.
nowadays. So I'd send out about 200 emails each day in the morning.
Wow.
And if I needed to set up calls, set up text message, little things. Um, I feel like emailing was one of the biggest ones, and really X or Twitter now or
Yeah.
X, just
Yeah.
making sure I'm regularly posting and making sure that everybody's kind of seeing it, tagging the right people and stuff like that, really.
Yeah, no, that's where I was talking to. San Marcos coach. I think Coach Alyssa, she's one of the assistant coaches at San Marcos, and she
Mhm.
says Twitter. She does
Yeah.
90% of her stuff off of Twitter, and so sometimes as old heads like myself, we were like, no, even no, there's different ways. Have an Instagram account, have a Twitter
Mhm.
or X account, join whatever service you do need to, and get out there. And I think a lot of our listeners, especially the ones that happen to know you or me, are this area. You're known really well from Southern California, and someone might say, "Oh, well, she doesn't have to do that. She doesn't have to send out
Mhm.
200 emails. She doesn't have to do that." I'm telling you, girls, send out the emails, make the contacts. Um, Everybody's doing it, and coming from somebody that spends a lot of time talking to college coaches, it's hard for high school girls now because with the transfer portal,
Mhm.
even if coaches were going to go after you before, that pool is a lot smaller now because of the choices they have. So it's very important that you self advocate and you go after it. And so I'm so proud that you've done that and it's worked out, right? So
Yeah.
Purdue signed you on the dotted line, so that's awesome. Tell me about take me fast forward a little bit. You guys are talking back and forth. Obviously, they're going to invite you out to visit the campus. What was your trip to Purdue like?
Oh, I was very excited. It was really my first official visit
Okay,
somewhere, and they took it as a big deal. I remember they sent me emails immediately
nice.
of the list of things that we were gonna do, and really we got lucky. I went with my friend Taylor Day, actually. She's
Okay,
committed to Purdue also now.
nice.
So I get to see with her. But really we got really lucky. We got to go to a football game and a volleyball game, which was super exciting. We didn't think we were actually going to be able to go to the volleyball game, but they
Yeah,
threw it in there last minute and they made it
nice.
fit. Now the food, absolutely amazing. Every place that we went to was insanely good, and I love my food.
Nice, nice. It's funny though, because like I said, I started talking to high school girls, but more and more over the past year, we've been talking to a lot of the college girls, and the
Mhm.
food doesn't get as good. It doesn't get any better than on your recruiting trip. So on the
Oh
recruiting trip, they're going to take you to the
yeah.
best. You might have
Mhm.
some of that top ramen and stuff a little later on, but during the recruiting trip, you eat like kings and queens. So that's
Mhm.
cool that you got to do that. All right, so when did you decide this was the place for me? Did you make that decision during the trip? Did you have to come home and think about it? How did that work?
Well, the only thing I really had to think about was how far it really was away. But
Uh-huh.
your little boost of get you to go somewhere
Yeah.
new, meet new people. But I would say it didn't take me too long to realize, hey, this is the place for you. It just had a homey feeling, of course. The coaches were so open and everything. So that kind of really did it for me, was that home feeling that we are a family type thing.
Nice, nice. And if I know your parents, I'm sure they're probably looking at Indiana real estate. Have
Oh,
they
yeah, they
yeah.
are. Yeah, they are.
That's funny. We've had those conversations too, where I was like, well, if my two kids go to the same place, I'm following them. So with you there, that's going to be exciting for them to get to watch your journey a little bit more. And I've got family out there. I don't know how far you are from Fort
Really?
Wayne, Indiana. I've got family out there, but I think it's only a couple hours away, so that's pretty
I
cool.
think it's only an hour and a half.
Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet. So tell me this, Rianne, what kind of advice would you give to like a younger player just starting this journey? Obviously, they pushed the timeline back, so now it's kind of the freshman, sophomore that are really getting after it. What kind of advice would you have to a 14, 15-year-old?
Get ahead of it early. Go to those camps. Like, even if you know you don't want to go to that school, just go to that camp. They might have connections somewhere else.
Mm,
Email all those coaches. As much information, the more information you have about the sport and in your brain, the better off you're going to be. The more information that you have about really anything really helps. So, doing those small camps that you might not want to go to that school, do it anyway. Keep emailing those coaches and keep working as hard as you can, because it really matters throughout your freshman and sophomore year, really, to get ahead and make sure, oh, this coach is noticing me. I want this person to notice me, type thing. Mhm.
excellent, excellent. Sounds really, really good. Now, you've done a good job of balancing your academics with your softball. I think you currently have a 3.8. You've kind of been around there the whole time, which is
Mhm.
impressive, knowing your work schedule and your work ethic. How do you maintain that balance between softball and your academics?
Oh, really? I just kind of set up timelines for myself.
Okay.
I always have a calendar ready for everything I really need. If we do a study hall in my sixth period, I'm making sure I get my work done because I want to be able to go out on the field and be eligible to play, of course.
Yes.
And it's really just a matter of time management, really, because softball itself takes up quite a bit of time,
Yeah.
hour 20 games, hour 30 games, but just that homework that you might need to do on the bus, go ahead and do it. You never know. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, most of the people that we know, that our circles, they know all about you and your academics and how much you love softball. What's something that people might not know about you? What are some of your outside interests besides softball?
I really love weightlifting. Um, over the past about 2 years or a year and a half, I have really gotten into bodybuilding, like
Mhm.
not professionally quite yet, but
Yeah.
I've really like enjoyed it, and I really like to cook also. But that kind of comes with it, with bulking and the cutting and stuff like that. But it
Um,
kind of like throws something else in there, and plus it gives me plenty of strength for softball, so it pays off.
nice. So you learn how to cook to help your body. But what is the food that you enjoy, you indulge in? So the diet's off. We're not doing that. We just finished. We've got a few weeks off of softball. What's your favorite meal that you cook? And I don't want to hear anything healthy.
Oh, nothing healthy?
Nothing healthy for this part.
Ooh, this is a tough one because
Yeah.
yeah. Um, Crumble cookies, that's a
No.
go-to. Ooh.
We've got crumble cookies downstairs right now. I don't know.
Oh.
It's good, but you can't do
Yeah.
that too often. That's got to
Yeah.
definitely be a luxury. So cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of get to know you questions. Just because, like I said, we want to know a little bit about you besides softball. So
Mhm.
tell me this: what is your favorite music group or singer?
Oh, I love Fleetwood Mac. I grew up
Okay,
listening to him. A little bit of George Strait too, because my
okay,
father grew up
that's
listening
funny.
to him. So
That's funny. Country through and through.
yeah.
How about give me a place that you've always wanted to visit? Don't say Indiana, that you haven't visited yet. What's a dream location to go on a vacation?
I really want to say Paris.
Oh,
Of course, the food. Maybe Italy too. Somewhere in Europe. I love my food, but
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like it could be really beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're thinking about a Europe trip where we can do, Italy, Paris, the UK, all of
Mhm.
that. And so I don't
Them
know.
all.
I know you graduate next year. I have one graduating this year and one in 2 years. So I think one of their senior trips we're gonna have to go to Europe
Oh.
and do that. So very, very cool. So all right, back to Purdue a little bit. What are you
Mhm.
most excited about? What are you looking forward to in your career at Purdue? I know we still got a little bit of time. You are a
Yeah.
junior, but you've already kind of committed. I'm sure you're following them. What are you looking forward to about the school?
Well, I'm really excited to meet my other committed teammates.
Mhm.
I follow most of them on Instagram and stuff like that. A couple of them have reached out to me. Not all of them live in California, but I'm really excited to meet them and like build a relationship, of course, a friendship to bond a little bit. I
Okay.
feel like that's what mostly I'm excited for because meet new people, of course.
Yeah.
And the other thing is definitely just getting on that field, knowing how they practice, knowing about how they run things and stuff like that, really.
Excellent, excellent. Now, again, very young. We still have a year and a half, not a year and a half, a year and a couple months of high school. We've got another 2 seasons of travel ball. Have you
Mhm.
set any goals for yourself, as for whether it be high school or the travel organization? You've done the big one. You've got committed. Are
Mhm.
there any other goals that you want to focus on over the next year and a half?
I really want to make sure that my GPA stays high, of course. Right now, I'm in a couple dual enrollments, APs, and stuff like that. So
None.
I want to try to push it past 4.0, of course, for myself. Softball wise, I want to hit up a couple more home runs, couple more each year. This year,
Nice.
I'm hoping for 10, 12, maybe, really.
Nice.
And
Nice.
then,
Now, it's been so long. I don't think I've been to the Hammett softball field in forever. I mean, do you have to really poke it to get out of there, or is it a hitter ballpark? What is it like?
oh, it's about no, it's quite a bit normal. You might need to swing hard just to get it over center field because we
Okay.
have the Great Wall right
Okay.
there.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Left
My
field,
girls, they play in a freaking desert, man. It's huge. Like
yeah.
when you come, it's a big field, and so most of the home runs of their high score get hit on the road, and so
Mhm.
sometimes we'll go visit some schools and it's like 190,
Oh, yeah.
200, and we're like, oh yeah, give me some of that. So I was just
Mhm.
curious. not that it matters for you, because I think I've seen you hit a ball 250, 260, 270.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of nice when you can, when you can get cheated a little bit and still hit one out. So that's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. Excellent, excellent. Well, one more question before we sign off. Is there
Mhm.
anybody, and I'm going to make it a little hard, I'm going to say you can't say mom and dad because obviously they were influential in your life. But is there anybody, whether it's a pitching coach, hitting coach, or something, that's really been instrumental in kind of your development over the years?
Ooh, I really wanna say, of course, my coach for high school, Coach Erin,
Mm,
she's someone that I've actually really looked up to. She played at the University of Tennessee for
nice.
Karen Weekly.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, Ca Coach Erin is, like, throughout high school, she's a little bit more laid back during our practices and stuff, but
Hmm.
usually when she has something to say, I'll kinda listen in, and it has, like, some meaning, and especially in those at bats, especially lately, I might hit a ball foul, didn't feel quite right, and I'll look over and she'll just make the little tiny adjustment like that, and then next thing you know, next pitch is going out. But she's really like played a very I want to say deadly and I don't even know how to explain it, but she's
Kind of
helped
a
me so
kind of
much.
kind of a pivotal role in your development, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool, very excited. Well, I'll tell you what, Ryan, that's our time. Again, like I said, I've just had a joy watching you from a 8, 9 year old where, we're against each other, then we're on the same team and watch you develop. I'll tell you this, you were always one of those people where we're like, yep, she's going somewhere. We don't know where it's going to be, but we know it's going to be high level. And
Mhm.
you continue to stay hungry and you continue to put in the work. And I'm just super proud of you. Can't wait to see you and follow you for the next 6, 7 years.
Thank you.
All right. That's all our time for now. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you. Boiler up.
Boiler up.